a spree of victories. And they showed us versus G2, who they almost 2-0'd. If it wasn't for 35-something frags from Nico, they wouldn't have been able to even have a map loss in recent memory. So, FURIA, they've been firing up step by step until now. You say that our fans have been waiting for this, Frankie? I think FURIA have been waiting for this one because they get a chance to take a chip off Astralis. It has been more than a year. And well, it's here on the B site that Art starts. Able to find that first headshot. They know they've got K-Serado pinned into the position, so they go for the deep graffiti control, and Yuri comes in from short. It's not really being covered. We've got Astralis evacuating the bomb site, playing instead the CT side of things. And FURIA, well, they love that monster wraparound. So we're going to see if they can pop some heads, or if Astralis lock down for the first pistol. Vinny's going to take a bit of chip damage. He draws players into the open. Vinny, taps for it. And now Vinny's going to go a little bit further with damage. Oh, they get them all. FURIA taking the pistol in a 3v4 retake.
I was just about to praise the incredible positioning here for Astralis. Planting for heaven, playing back in CT, taking control of it. It comes down to the wire, and FURIA will pick it up. Low HP on 3 of their
first arrived, but they've powered up. And that victory over G2, that's the evidence that they can compete with the top tier of EU's competition.
They were the best of the big 3. Them and, god damn. Okay, we've got Device and Dupree. Best of the big 3 in North America to come out, and then to come to Europe. It, as you mentioned, didn't look promising at first, but they shook the nerves off. They got the practice. And they used it, every single little bit of practice, to grow a lot stronger where some others didn't. But yeah, Astralis, the final boss, the biggest test. And only because they have been playing so well recently. They've been powering up game after game at this tournament in the exact same fashion that FURIA is. This is the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. The fire and ice, the dichotomy between these two teams and the form that they have coming into these games is going to make it, has made it one of the most promising matches that we've seen in recent times. As we've waited with bated breath for this chance for them to meet in the bracket.
I'm all aboard this analogy you keep making with the fire and ice, because I think it fits even the play styles so well. I want to reiterate what you mentioned in the pregame, though, Launders. You know, FURIA, a lot of people talk about them and their aggression and whatnot, but it's not the only thing they do well. You know, it's just they do that one thing better than anybody else. So it's why they have their name stamped on it. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on this CT side from FURIA once they get the op in the hands of Henny. I can't really recall a recent matchup where Astralis have had to deal with like a tier 1 explosive opper. Kenny S could have been that, but I don't think he really delivered in the face of Device when they recently played one another. And it's been a long time since Device has had a chance to cut down Henny.
Really?
Vice versa.
The closest opportunity was Shiro, you know, to actually look very strong. And Device absolutely outdueled him every step of the way. The other teams that they played against, as they're pointing out, didn't really have that. And FURIA, they've got the double op setup with 2 players who are not hybrids. They're both primaries. It's just that we've got Henny more dedicated to it more often. Astralis win around quietly here is for FURIA to show that they prepared for it. They should have been able to predict that this was coming in. It could have landed Inferno, it could have landed a Vertigo, and it could have landed Overpass. But they should have known that this was a definite potential. Behind the 3 guns that were saved over, FURIA upgrade their armor, some nades, and invest what they can. Still a very strong buy overall. Some spam damage in through the stairs, and goddamn Yuri through the smoke, through the wall, through the head of Magisk, and he's dead.
Yeah, if Yuri and FURIA aren't going to be inside the short water themselves, then they're definitely going to make sure you struggle to take it. And we talk about pressure. Pressure is a key piece of the FURIA game plan. It's not always pressure by aggression, but definitely pressure by presence. And that's what we get with those kinds of wall bangs into the short. So yes, 3 guns here for FURIA. One of which already picking up a kill. A deep angle from Henny as dupreeh creeps into it. That could have been way worse for Astralis, so definitely a chance to recover because, well, they could get hit from long. Henny, he thought he had already been flanked, but it was a bullet through the wall of the bathrooms that kind of confused him. Yuri, extending around the dumpster, takes down 2 players. He's on for the 3K, and oh my goodness, chance at a clutch on his own, but he primes Vinny to push up. dupreeh cuts that down. Quesarado slips in, and it's minimal health here for Zipex, but it's Zipex. And as he comes out from that smoke, Quesarado calls him out. FURIA forced by right back.
But it's Quesarado. Swing out, grab 2 kills, grab 3, and make it look sexy too. Everybody is deathmatched. 3 hours the night before, 3 hours this morning. You better believe these two understand the hype coming into this series.
It's for that reason we expect it to deliver.
And for that same reason, we're going to see some missed shots as well. If there's ever a situation to get nervous, there's pride on the line. From Brazil, from North America, from Europe, for Astralis to prove that they are who they used to be in 2018 with this same lineup. Now that they've earned their stripes again, practicing, getting Zipex back in form.
Especially after that hiccup versus Godsent to start the entire event. We had Astralis thrown down into the moat of a lower bracket. But these crocodiles chewed up everything the other teams threw down there.
Yeah, that is something special about Astralis. Historically, in big events, going down to the lower bracket has not been enough to rock them. The closer they get to defeat early, the more they seem to power up as they get closer to the finish line. And here they've nearly broken the ribbon. On the way to the final, FURIA. An atypical test. Something unpreparable. Zipex. Ooh,
damage.
That's a tag.
Yuri's got a flash in his face and T's all around him. Oh, he loses. Oh, 2 players down thanks to Glaive. Henny in from the corner on long. But it's only him and Quesarado. Not the ideal position for FURIA to find themselves in. And a frag grenade that doesn't do too much. The scout player and Device, he's serving as a distraction. Henny trying to challenge. Device 1 HP. Just an absolute nuisance. Oh, but Quesarado's got a chance. He's able to get himself the quick headshot into Glaive. Does Henny want to play this? He's worried, doesn't know where they're at, doesn't have the kit. Bomb halfway gone. Astralis and FURIA back and forth for the first 4 rounds.
Glaive should have been dead a whole long time ago. Yuri drops the spray after such an incredible round as well. 3 frags leading into that one, and then he loses out versus Glaive. He turns on a dime to take down both him and his teammate. We like to talk about FURIA because they've got very even strength players, so much individual skill, unique game plan, all this stuff. Astralis, we don't really talk about their individuals a lot. You brought up Magisk on the desk and how much of a rise to form he's had post IGL. Of course, it was so nice of him to pick up that mantle while Glaive needed a break from it. Did a great job trying to keep the team afloat, but recognized that Glaive was a better caller. But goddamn, is he definitely the better fragger? And here he is, opening it up already.
Excellent flashbang from Device. Blinds the 2 CTs that went for the Fountain Peak. And now we're going to watch Astralis stabilize on the offense. That back and forth affair, we knew there was going to be sparks from the get-go. But it looks like Astralis get their train back on track. Or have I spoke too soon? It's going to be another kill, of course, but such little HP for Art and Vinny. And Astralis find this open A site.
All about trying to game these rotations. It's made it look so easy getting onto A with these entries. 3 CTs hold back. No guns to recover. Anything that they can go and grab. Looks like there's definitely potential to upgrade. Oh, this is Yuri upgrading outside a monster. And 2 T's dead. And we see specifically Device here in this position to make sure they don't go back for it. This is the only thing they have to worry about at this moment. He's going to guard at the high tower here and just make sure that these guns don't get recollected. But FURIA know that this is the case. They won't even attempt to go for it. So we know some things about FURIA CT side overpass. Again, it's not their highest win rate map. It is a little bit of a weakness in their pool, which normally isn't a problem, but Astralis have such a strong 6 maps that it becomes one. It's not something we often see, but it seems we'll sometimes try to punish FURIA here. They do a ton of, obviously, CT aggression. Their setups in the stairs, I think, are their most abnormal. Or we have the Art Henny head stacks. We have sometimes 3 CTs in there. I think they have a lot that don't actually want it quite as much. Dust 2 is not a map they play. Why is that? Overpass is not a map that they're very good at. It's kind of strange when you think about it. And it might be because there's so many more protocols for the teams knowing that that aggression is supposed to come on that map.
I think if we want to talk about those abnormal head stacks inside of Connector, well, when those start going south because of the Astralis or any of their opponents playing to long A, you know, when the top of the staircase becomes compromised, there's just as many little moments for FURIA inside of the short water. You can see the boost going on right now from the B site. Sometimes they'll throw this on the railing to keep eyes in Connector. We'll have players push through Monster and challenge aggressively on the B site. I would hate to be this like late B lurk from any team facing Astralis, FURIA's CT side. Because it's also sometimes just on a dime that they can turn it on. They lull you into a false sense of security. And that's the depth that we talk about to their aggression. It's not aggression every single time, all the time. It's that once they crank the dial, oh, it can catch you off guard.
Yeah, that's the first round feel-out period. No one's really throwing a punch too soon. Yeah, and just as you mentioned, you know, even if they don't push, it does delay because teams are very scared. Wait, why aren't they pushing? What are we not watching? It has a psychological impact. So far, the stacks have not been correct here for FURIA, but Astralis at the same time, got to credit them for working both sides of the map evenly, not really leaving things up to question. Trades come through, plant will go down shortly, and FURIA have unsuccessfully gotten kills on another round with just pistols. They've invested in the half armor, looking for 3, of course, where they can find it, but next round is really where the game begins.
Critical accuracy from Device this round to really minimize the moments that FURIA could have made something happen. The biggest one, executing Yuri on the side of bathrooms once he got that kill towards mid. Oh, see what I'm talking about? Look at the accuracy. Device with the Juan tap. He's gonna let Art survive. You've got to leave one. You got to leave one survivor so that he can tell the tale of your fury. Nicely done by Device here, putting some distance between him and his opponents. 4 and 2 is the lead. 4 kills for...
higher than a, what is it, all-time average be? Like 60-something in 1v1s? I think that would be considered a high. Probably something higher than that, I'm not sure.
I'd like to know...
Actually, would it be way higher than that? I can't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of 1v2 percentages.
Here it is.
The boost.
Yep.
Now,
try and curb back some kind of B aggression.
So,
and look, they do that with the 2 players on Monster.
So we're going to talk about fallback plan here. Now, this isn't something that Astralis is going to catch them off guard. They watch one demo, they're going to know about this. Art gets out really early. The last time that FURIA got caught off in this position when they hung out too long, A got taken over way too quickly. So here they use it as a small tactic to see if there's going to be short water control. They fall out of that spot. But what's really important, what you like to see here, is that FURIA have a fallback tactic that's still aggressive. They don't just give up on that round and go back to a very standard style. But Astralis, they've worked the map a little bit, and what's very curious about this is FURIA are getting that info now. So coming back to B, we'll see if the rotations are coming around, but it looks like they're going to take a few extra seconds. Art, he's getting curious on the A site. Device will get tagged up, and now he's just going to try to play defensively. Him showing himself is nice, though, for Astralis. Still 2 players in the B side alone.
Certainly. And they're starting to get a little antsy here, backing up ever so slightly. Here comes the utility. He saw the shadow. Vinny doesn't continue the spray, but it's K-Serrano maintaining, and he gets himself 2 crucial kills. He finds himself the 3rd. Everybody getting shut down on Monster thanks to the hands of K-Serrano.
Just a beautiful 2-player setup there on the wood wall, back on the grate. We get the 1 from Vinny, some damage information, a flash here for the contact play on K-Serrano, and then he cleans them all up. He does even more than he needs to, but he makes sure they don't turn the corner into the site. They are not allowed in this neighborhood. Monster is closed. 7 rounds deep, and the game's already quite tight. Astralis are going to try to turn up the tempo. Instead of working map control, I think they feel like they've conditioned FURIA into sitting back and waiting. So now they have an opportunity to catch a team in rotation. FURIA are still here hanging out in front of balloons, but you can see they've got eyes forward, considering the thought of mid. Oh, and suddenly, Astralis, excuse me, they changed plans. They didn't leave someone back here. So they've had a change of heart.
What could have caused this?
Seem to be suspicious about something, and they clearly want to just go ahead and clear this out. It feels to me as though Astralis are going to move back into the regular start of the round, but they had something that worried them about the thought of an A push, and the last thing they want to do is get full flanked.
Gonna get a... Ooh, he's just about to peek into it. Art has to dodge that flash, scoped in. Finds the frag with the AUG. Magisk, he's got control of connector.
Yep, once again.
Back to the B site.
Even that's enough. I think they feel like they lost the round because of their own fault. So let's see what the new approach is. This is so interesting to see, going back to eyes pressed on Monster.
Magisk looking to creep in from short. There is a third set of eyes on this bomb site. Yuri over on Graffiti. Magisk, he's just going to crank the dial. Magisk does get one. Vinny does not deliver. Frag grenade could be huge, but it's not. It's just a bit of chip damage into Dupree. 18 seconds. Yuri knows he's getting aggressed onto, and Astralis charging into this, but still no bomb plant. That bomb carrier, in fact, he's going to be able to find himself a little bit more cover. Doubling up on the Molotovs to deny that short peek. Had Henny found the timing, he would have slayed them all. Magisk, dude, he just flies into that bomb site. Doesn't even concern himself with the thoughts of Yuri over on Graffiti. He wants to alleviate pressure within the site, leave Vinny on his own, and that's Vinny now unable to deliver in 2 initial pushes. He got 1 kill once, but he got 0 kills this round, and they absolutely needed him to go big.
They change it up a bit here, having Magisk come up short early. They have Device getting information, and this calls out the positioning for FURIA, taking the risk over on A, again, forcing them to not big flank. This is where FURIA are relying, this is what FURIA are relying on to make sure that they win rounds every single time. So when you go for information, they will go back and grab it as soon as you leave. And here we have a position where it looks like Astralis are going to execute B. They go back to hold on to A. Art is about to walk around the corner. Device shows up. Yeah, he dies. But now FURIA have to make a long rotation back to the site. And you do not need 5 people to entry the B site.
A little more connector control here from FURIA. I do feel like what I'm... Ooh, hold on. Art's found an angle on long. Vinny dies on his own. That one being through smoke inside of connector. There's nobody on this B site to stop Astralis.
I think they've been waiting for this. Like, they're just going to go... They know kind of what's going on at this moment. I'm not sure how many members they've seen on this push, but now they're just starting to get in quickly. And suddenly the novelty of this big flank is going to wear off, right? Because now they've cleared everything out and they can start watching their backs.
Yuri's the only player up here in the heavens. Everybody else on the back line of Astralis. They seem comfortable enough to sit inside a site. Glaive keeping short under wraps. Magisk flashed. Bails out of his initial position. That does give a little more wiggle room to the CT side, but look, they don't even want to chance it. They're going to keep those 3 weapons. They've won enough in terms of picking up the hardware left by Astralis. Spam damage. Henny, lucky to be still standing. 1 health the difference on that one. Mohan, what I'm noticing already is I feel like FURIA versus lesser opponents versus other teams, they kind of stick around in connector a lot longer than they are so far versus Astralis.
I think that was something that they needed to fix about their They'll definitely need some to be able to close out this series. But so far, so good, man. Like, Astralis' game plan is clearly tailored to their opponent, as per usual. It's working out wonderfully. And FURIA, we'll see if they're prepared to stop it.
Art down to half health. Does have a little bit of water control.
I think the key here is playing the CS clock down, right? Really using the time on the clock effectively. And another push is taken down.
No, not even.
Where's he?
He got killed through the hole in the squeaky door.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, look at this long-range angle. And he's calling for help.
Tough situation. Again, highest 45 win percentage in the world, I think, at the moment for FURIA, inflated with their North American stats, but still carrying over into like a lot of matches now. And I think a big reason for that is because they don't always play around like it's a 5v5. They play around as if Art is a 6 player on the team. And that's why sometimes their setups can leave a lot of ways back into rounds. But look at this, Astralis, they find the correct time to go B once again. They avoid just all of the rifles. Caserado tries to get back in time.
Caserado getting just the one.
Oh, man.
Kill feed completely full of Astralis. These calls, these timings, these rotates, the commitments.
I have nothing against Magisk. I think he did a really wonderful job, and it's not like he was like, I want to call, right? He didn't take that role from Glaive. He needed to do that and step up for the team where no one else was willing to, or he felt like he could do it the best outside of Glaive. But as soon as Glaive came back into the roster, he said, obviously, Glaive is a better caller than me. That's reverence. And we see it. We see the ability for Glaive to pull off these T-sides and make it look like the shooting isn't even a factor. The rotations are always so beautiful that you see them. It's as if they are telling the other team what to do. You go to this site, we'll take the empty one. FURIA, part of the magic of their CT side as well, is their ability to gamble correctly a lot. They are so good at moving around on CT side and finding a way to stack where most teams can't do it.
The gameplay. They made sure he was comfortable enough to take over the reins only this week.
Well, he's getting old, you know. He has to put tennis balls on his walker, right?
Took him a while to get in the room.
Feed him bananas through a straw. He's running out of energy.
They let him find that comfort, really power into the position. He's going to be the front runner. A man advantage for FURIA. 17 rounds for Astralis already. That is a success story in and of itself. But the story not yet completely written.
And we cannot get too... We cannot feel a certain kind of way about FURIA because of this map, because really, this veto is very dynamic. In the next couple of maps, it could change the face of what FURIA feel. They might be reserving some confidence for map 2 and 3, not really expecting a lot here on Overpass. What we're focusing on, of course, good signs here for Astralis, strong game plan. These kind of universally good things like the IGLing as in terms of mid-rounding, getting CTs out of sights.
Device's all-aroundness. His AK precision right now is just through the roof. What we're looking for is really the feel-out period from FURIA. Are they at least going to have those X-Factor moments? They might miss a rotate, but can Henny still chop them down in a moment like this? Well, he delivered himself one kill, but then just as quickly as he catches one, it's Astralis to take over the A site. Art, he has long control, and he's not going to drop the ball when he sees the back of Magisk. Frag grenade, fantastic. Zipix to 66, and Device to the side of the smoke. One of those rounds that FURIA should absolutely be picking up, and Device with the sniper in an awkward position, gonna go ahead and rattle off with the P250, the spinning, whizzing Yuri. And a little ferociousness from FURIA, frustration seeping through, but this is what they do.
They shoot your body at the end of the round, and then they go on social media and tell you how you guys got unlucky and you'll play better next time, or we're not even that great. That's information gatherer role, taking he's the guy getting flashed out to see if there's four T's in one place. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of mimicking going on the CT side between a lot of teams. I want to believe FURIA had a part in that, showing that this style, why it works.
Yuri behind the fountain. This is something we should be able to see from him. If he's not getting aggressive over in the short water, it's here to support Art, who is currently opping, right? That double sniper setup coming in from FURIA. Ooh, but Glaive's not alone. He's got Magis by him. And Yuri doing a good job of serving up a distraction, but Art's unable to find a target with that op until finally he gets it. But Glaive, in the meantime, claws one back immediately. Now Art's position's compromised. He could get peeked at a single moment.
Oh, it seemed like he was aware of it. Glaive just walked around the entire thing. Art was expecting more space.
And expecting more presence from Astralis, trying to bail out the fountain push by maybe coming up connector, but we saw Dupree a little slow in a good way. Took his time, didn't panic, didn't run into the scope of Art, who instead only got that one frag. Now we've got Henny, close proximity to his opponents. In fact, he has slipped beyond Dupree. And oh, Jesus, talk about panic. Henny just out of the side of his scope, jumps the gun, misses the shot, and gives Astralis an easy line to run into this A site. Vinny's going to be trying to contest it, but he too loses his head. Quesarado threw that flash from the B site, and it wasn't on the money. But Astralis absolutely are. 8 rounds for them now, and FURIA still trailing.
They just put the metal boots on. They trudge their way through the mud. They have made it through A, fought through this aggressive setup, worked their way through bathrooms control, crawling at every single step, fighting on these new targets and making FURIA infuriated, uncomfortable. Henny on that last line of defense, even if he hits that wild shot or is more calm and hits it, he instantly gets traded. That's still 2 rotators that come in and get absolutely nothing on the retake, because at that point, that's 3 targets down. That's an A site compromised.
Art's going to try yet again. This time he's got support at the base of connector, so he doesn't have to look away at all. But it's Yuri with the MP9 to trade frag that one. He doesn't feel too comfortable, so suddenly Art shouldn't either. We've got Quesarado getting aggressive into the short door swings. Dupree hits him like a truck. And Vinny, best of luck. He's going to be hanging on to the B site. Oh, he lines them up. Near collateral spray down with that there FAMAS, but it's still the man advantage for Astralis. Yuri throws the frag grenade deep. It's on the mark. 60 health for Astralis on all 3 of their remaining players, but what's the move from FURIA? Met by smoke. They've got to walk away.
Astralis did this with Liquid the other day. When Twiz was having a super important game, really good performance, they started attacking him directly, finding the spots where he'd be open by himself, fighting him until the point that he had no confidence left, and then were winning rounds easily doing other things. Here, we saw FURIA's initial game plan, Art with the idea, the philosophy that there's always a crack in the defense, that and when I say defense, I mean the T's in this perspective, because they're holding back in a default. And Art, he's the guy who is going to find a way to push A one way or another. It's always going to be a timing available. But it seems so far, Astralis have caught him off enough times that he's not tried that. Now they're just going for stacked up aggression pushed up, and Astralis have kind of overcome that that hurdle as well. It's good to see FURIA trying new looks, but still, at every turn, it feels like the hardest part of the game plan was dealing with the big flank potential. Getting made to look stupid in those moments, that's not even an issue now. They've got FURIA playing more defaulty style CS, and now they're winning them there. They've got them in their arena.
Want them right where they are. It's going to be liver shot. After straight jab, after uppercut. Until finally Astralis throw the knockout head kick. But Yuri, well, he's going to get himself just the first one. Can't actually dive back into the cover because we've got Device on the op, able to immediately trade.
Yuri Romero there for a second. Surviving the head kicks. Now we're down to just a couple of pistols here as we round off the half. Henny and Quesarado will have to make a Hail Mary rotation. You could just see them spinning like a dreidel in all of these different spots. It's just funny to watch, honestly. Very impressive stuff so far here by Astralis.
The Rec 9 rears its ugly head.
Interesting how Device has just been lurking like crazy on all of these maps. He was playing a lot of solo spots in T defaults, whether it was like Inferno on Banana, but just things feel like they've even turned into harder lurks as time has gone on. Timing.
Had a reason to be antsy. Astralis just look absolutely on fire at the moment. And again, we knew this was going to be a problem coming into Overpass, but what we were looking to learn is, like, are the individuals of FURIA going to throw curveballs or whatnot? Outside of a couple of rounds, we haven't really seen that.
Yeah, they're getting kind of like scolded about what they want at the moment. So, one round for dignity here before we move over to FURIA's B side and get a second look on things. So they'll be able to control the pace maybe a little bit more effectively. Art and Device, they've got a stalemate, creating a roof of angles. And a shingle falls. That's Art who will win it. Outpatiencing Device, whips out the knife. perfect timing on the push. And now they can start to enclose. The lobster pinch could ensue, but the last time that this happened, Astralis quickly moved into B, and again, the novelty of the big flank wore off quickly. Yuri, he started to move down the stairs, and it seems like a target is coming his way.
It's dupreeh versus Yuri here inside a connector. Molotov at his feet. That's going to make things awkward. Yuri has no utility to put it out.
Dead. Oh my God.
He was just waiting and hoping that dupreeh would come around to challenge. He accepted his fate. With fire at his feet and Astralis knocking on the door of an 11th round. But of course, that's not the only player still up behind them. There is this chance that Art could be able to solve the problem of a potential A rotation. But you have to realize, FURIA, they're going to be second-guessing things. Art, he turns his attention back towards long, but now he swoops in towards mid. Magist slain. Zipex takes his place. And we've got dupreeh inside of connector. Art knowing that he is compromised at the moment. And we see FURIA start to run up to the A site, but they have taken the bait. The B site is easy for the taking. They've got a smoke up into heaven, and FURIA offering over the little that they had. Henny's gonna cut down a player, so a 4 versus 2 for FURIA to try and take a 5th round at least on this CT side of a questionable map. But of course, as they do, Astralis staying cool. Another headshot comes in from Glaive. He loses his teammate, but he knows Art's up top, and he knows that his teammate is right here. Henny, almost slain, dodging the shots. Glaive, like he's in the Matrix, hones in for an absolute clutch. And a start in Europe to what seemed like a competitive state. However, they just met a nasty Astralis on that T side, and they got shut down every step of the way. 14-8 from Device. Glaive at 13 kills with essentially a 1 versus 4 to close out that half. Overpass was a question mark. It's a punish pick from Astralis. The FURIA are going to try to their T side to see if they can regain a little respect, to see if they can get the machine rolling. Because in that first 15, it definitely came to a stutter. Art's going to find the opening. dupreeh goes down in the pistol. Vinny on the other side of the smoke. Oh, he starts to find a bit of damage.
Yeah, and it's an opening on the way back, but immediately Astralis make the adjustment. Got the right feel on the situation. Device is in place. He's got a player coming up on the side. Zipex gets the lurk on the other side when they go for the explode, and Cacerado pushing, holding W, hits that USP shot. He'll demand a lot of Magic's aim, and Magic cannot deliver.
Glaive's inside of the smoke. Zipex working around to the bank. Glaive diving back down into the cover, but it is ferociousness from FURIA.
Cool.
Hit that B site. Almost looked like they were going to run right in, and then they divert.
Yeah.
Opposite side of the map. Magisk could not deliver with players flying past his screen.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely, you know, as it is, that Astralis suddenly fall off here in the second half. It'd be great. You get a pistol going. We can see what the game plan looks like for FURIA, and see if they can try to game some of the rotations of Astralis as well. You know, they're a smart team that adapt, and again, we get lost in this narrative of they always hold W, but they are a multifaceted lineup who have a lot more going for them than just these, you know, gimmicks and gambles.
One of my favorite things about FURIA is that, like, pack mentality sometimes you see from them on the T side. Everything might not be going their way, but when they group up, it is such a ball of energy. And Yuri, well, he's going to catch that head of Device. So despite the scout's first shot landing into Art, Yuri going to extend around the corners of long, just completely ignoring his left side, which is where Astralis reside, at least for the moment. Being plucked apart. Only Zipex left. He's going to walk around from bank. And FURIA taking a 6th.
They work their way in. They do the pendulum swing. So it's just anti-eco, very common thing to do. Very popular strat. Try to hold the center of the map, which is stairs. This quick rotation up from B. Have it one player around balloons or farther back. And then everybody else walk up long. All up against the far wall to not be hurt. And then fight towards long, where you don't get crossfired. The real tricky part about a map like Inferno, for example, is if you come up mid, there's like that G2 crossfire you see with pistol stacks, and you cannot avoid that situation if you want to come up mid. Halls has the same idea, and so does the B site. But on Overpass, you have this idea where you can come around the complete outside of the map, and you don't have too many situations where you have to flick back left and flick right. They can close down the site with this 45-degree angle, and that's why coming in for TNT goes towards long A is so popular.
Yuri gonna swing out, find what was a double stack. 2 players over on Graffiti. Frag grenades have softened up the CTs. They want to keep extending into this. These USPs coming at a cost. And he's able to maintain control of the bomb site, but he is also the bomb carrier. With that smoke now on site, he's going to have to think about a plant. That was a little extension just to make sure that all of the water was clear. Nobody going to sprint into him as his hands are busy. Maybe Device can slip through the offense. Ooh, he does. Another headshot off of the pistol. Considering this is just USPs, check out the damage and what's left of FURIA.
Not bad. They just want that one more kill, right? This is the one that would make a big difference to the economy. Actually keeps him at a deficit. And he's getting some damage in, but the kill eventually comes out. Caserado, the one person with HP to work with, will take the fight. 3 rounds of difference, and things start to heat up. We're not quite at Habanero. We're right around Jalapeno on the Scoville chart. Okay, there's still a little bit to go.
Manageable.
Yeah, manageable. We'll get the full rifle now. They're establishing round here for FURIA. They can show us what they can do. I don't want to get too excited. Not yet.
Tempered expectations. I think Astralis earned that much. Their first half was excellent. A grade.
Yeah, that basically a 9.5 out of 10 half, right? Like, you play that one out, I feel like FURIA, we're never going to get closer to winning.
No forward stance here from Astralis whatsoever. No connector control, nobody in bathrooms, nobody on long. Just Device at a distance. But then we get a minute transition. Dupree going to take the responsibility of the corner on long. But because there's so many bodies here for FURIA, if they can get Device off of this angle, somebody could definitely try and clear close. Art walks right into it. No flash, no smoke, no assist.
That's the risk. So if Art comes out and he sees nobody there, he can sit there for literally 30, 40 seconds. No flashbang means that there's a CT that could walk into it. If Device isn't holding it the whole time, then they'll have to trade places with a flash to come out. But the risk did not pay off. Device is there. He's waiting.
And another still. Oh no, there's the flashbang. Perfect. Because of the smoke deep, Device had to leave Dupree. Now, Molotov on the dice box and a rotation from FURIA in the final 20 seconds. Who's left? Zipex. He lays down the incendiary over towards short, but that's going to allow him to just lock down Monster. The timing on Zipex's utility is perfect. Smoke over on the long end of Monster gave him a massive shadow advantage, and because of the incendiary, they had nowhere else to run. Zipex wins this round with grenades before FURIA were even on the doorstep.
That was so sick. You could see the shadow right off the corner of the long B smoke. Was that his that he threw?
I'm pretty sure.
Deep in there? That was like something you throw.
I saw him using utility. I didn't see where it went, but I saw it thrown out at about that time.
Sure, yeah. Like, yeah, you could see the shadow of a player coming through the smoke, and that just iced it out. Henny had a smoke he needed to throw down on path, but yeah, as we're saying, they needed to get to Zipex. And they could not even get through, they couldn't even get through the lobby. Zipex was on the 3rd floor. He was far away from them, holding it down. Device, opening kill on Art again.
FURIA getting battered and bruised. Caserado to 28 HP. Device, another chill angle, but this time he doesn't find that first shot.
Brazilian shoulder peeks are something nice. Coldzera best in class.
Device eats a flash.
Good flashes, yeah.
He comes right back.
I think he likes the taste. It's like the banana antibiotics.
Molly kind of pressures him back away from this. Frag grenade.
You don't really want to eat them, but they taste good.
Very good. Strong utility usage. Is anybody surprised? Device isn't. Yuri peeks right into him.
You know the best part? He hasn't got any hard kills yet.
Right? Yeah, hasn't even been pressured.
They just run into him. Okay, there we go. Finally, Henny will get the device kill in 2 senses, symbolically, waiting, out game planning him. 3 press up. They're hurt though. They got broken legs, broken arms. They've been naded early on. Magisk, they got no limbs.
Yet they're still trying to punch their way through. It's not going to happen. Solid defense from Astralis. Solid showing on Overpass.
Everything goes off without a hitch. Sometimes Astralis, that team, it's like, well, if they didn't exist, who would show you what the ideal game plan is? And it's elevated a lot of teams to become a ton better. But look, it's just Device, easy shot after easy shot. And this is why he never gets his flowers. Right place, right time. Super smart to the jump. Nope. Pre-smoke the monster. 2 are going into the stairs this time around. They're going for the boost, and it looks like it'll be effective as well. They picked the time to do it. However, Caserado, very nicely done, answers back with a Glock shot in the head of Dupree.
Quick flick up from Device. That's going to get Caserado wounded.
Oh, he hit him?
Yes, sir. Astralis so incredibly comfortable.
Hugo.
Hugo.
I can smell the candle on Dupree burning behind him. This is the ideal A setup when no one touches long. If you come through short bathrooms, it's a trap. Device doesn't have to worry about long here because his teammate's up there pushed up, and he can focus forward. He never has to turn his aim across to the side and can continue to play positions like this, for example. Makes it incredibly difficult. So they'll run out to try to deal with this problem. Could be a smart move, but again, not great guns to work with.
Oh. Zipek's accuracy just on point. There is going to try to fluster him a little. He's down to 6 bullets in the magazine.
He's trying to run his pocket
3
right
bullets.
Now. Give me that ammo, Yuri says. But
Plays
he's
it
still
to
got
perfection.
More. Yeah.
14-7 from Astralis. The question coming into Overpass was not, are Astralis the better Overpass team, but rather, can FURIA even make them uncomfortable?
Definitely.
The last time Henny played against Astralis was for Immortals at the Krakow Major in 2017.
Damn.
Immortals famously getting to the finals.
Some weird way, there's just so much history here and just this big gap. And I mean, when he played on Immortals, Henny was not the same player at all. This guy was like the Makalele, the Draken. He was the guy who'd miss all of the easy shots and hit all the hard ones. That's who Henny was. That was his namesake, right? Now he's the guy who is like the safest player on all of FURIA, who consistently puts up numbers with his op, who's the most reliable, continues to be explosive, and now hits a highest combination probably of easy and hard shots, even compared to Art, I'd say. Totally different guy. One of the biggest blow-ups when it comes to a CSGO player that I can think of.
Feels like so far, FURIA, they've just been happy to take their beating.
Oh no. They're holding for the pushes, but they don't win the duel.
Nope. Astralis on an individual level, just so on point. It's been a long time since FURIA's played a team of this caliber, let's be real. It's been a long time since they played Astralis in specific, but other than G2, which was a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, the story could have been very different. Both these teams beating G2, I mean, it makes G2 look bad, but, you know, it also makes them look really good. Because before that, G2 were on a really, really strong start. 3-on-3 situation. Device from up top, the eyes in the sky. And nobody wants this smoke. He's aiming way low. Swing might come out above. And surely, at some point, somebody's going to get antsy enough to go a bit deeper. Device front of the smoke, and he'll catch Caserado, make it a double.
Device
Will we get fries on the side?
Absolutely on one. 22 kills off of those op shots, and you know he wants his last one. Dupree's gonna find the headshot before he does. Astralis 15-7. I mean, this.
To go out a bit more aggressively here, 22-12. 8 rounds for FURIA to come back into this, but as you mentioned, more importantly, for them to win some dignity rounds to show that they were at least somewhat prepared to scare Astralis and win themselves some confidence. Talk about confidence.
Just gonna absolutely do as he pleases. There's no reason for Astralis to let off the gas pedal. They have not been convinced by the individuals of FURIA or the style of FURIA to even hesitate in terms of decisions. They've got a flank up from Connector already. Device gonna cut down the bomb carrier. This is just perfect.
All gas, no brakes here for Astralis.
Like you said, you need a team like Astralis so that you can compare what you're supposed to look like. FURIA very much not looking like what their ceiling has shown us. They are crawling across the floorboards.
And of course, comparison is the thief of joy, but it's what allows you to reflect and deflect this victory from Astralis, what Art tries to do with a couple of key kills here, and Vinny in a position to catch rotators. Device versus Art. 1-on-1. Art, no health to work with, only the map to be his canvas. 30 seconds up as he tries to suss out Device. Could he make the play to save the day? He's got to run.
He's been hurt as well. Device, he's going to 5-7 this one into infinity and beyond, because the sky is the limit for an